Hello everybody, I am the Enigma, and today I'm going to rant bullshit for about maybe 10-15 minutes about anime. More precisely, anime endings. Now, I am going to precisely bitch about anime endings that leave too much open. And of course, these are usually anime with read the manga endings, which means read the manga or you're not gonna get the full story. Which, unless you have a source to read the manga, you're going to have to dash out some more cash. And I'm going to spoiler warning right now. I'm going to give a few examples. One of which is, and this is so far I know, the worst example of this, the anime Hidan no Aya, or Area Crimson Bullets, was it? The reason why I think this anime is kind of the worst thing, or one of the worst examples, is it leaves so many plot points open, and it doesn't solve any of them. Keep in mind, at this point I have not watched Hidan no Area AA, but aside of that, I really don't think this is going to go well. One of the better examples of a very open ending, but still read the manga if you want to know, is Akatsuki no Yona. The journey was, I like the anime, but the ending was just kind of was an asshole. I mean, straight out of nowhere, it's been a great, if you know Akatsuki no Yona, if not, you should go away, because you've already passed the spoiler warning. But in Akatsuki no Yona, the whole goal was to collect the 4 dragons and then do something. I guess they didn't really point out a goal. They weren't really trying to stop the main villain, who I'm not going to tell because otherwise I spoil too much. But the 4th dragon, which is the yellow dragon, just kind of shows up out of nowhere because he's hungry. No joking, it's quite literally what he does. The group with Yona, or Princess Yona, Hawk, I forget the medic's name, the other 3 dragons that they've collected at that point. So, and they just go and eat, and then suddenly the yellow dragon appears. Just because he's hungry. No other reason. He's just there because he's hungry. And as far as I'm aware, that happens in the manga too, so it's not an anime only asshole. But yeah, it happens. I don't know why it happens. I don't know how it happens. But somebody thought, you know what? We have somebody who escapes fate, somebody who embraces fate, and somebody who doesn't know what the fuck his fate is. How about we have the last dragon just show up out of fucking nowhere? Because that would be awesome. But aside from that, back to the Hidan no Aria example. I have to read that name of the screen every time because I keep forgetting it. It's just completely out of nowhere. At the last moment, they introduce a new character. Like, she hasn't been mentioned before, but apparently the main character has some kind of relationship with her. Like, it was his old girlfriend or something, and then that girlfriend got killed, and then the fragments of that girlfriend were taken by the bad guy to create his new sidekick to piss off the main character. Oh wait, that is Kaze no Stigma, and that's a good anime. You should watch it. And aside of that, when you really think about it, anime endings are, someone say, it's the journey, not the destination, that makes it worth it. Well, here's the problem. If you're going to track through an anime, you want to have a couple of plot points resolved. Granted, the anime I've been talking about this entire time and bitching about also doesn't really have an entire goal, so it doesn't really have anything to accomplish. But of course, I keep thinking, well, why did they not do specific things? Like, as far as I'm aware, Arya, the main character's quote-unquote other love interest, because there's about 3 of them, and counting. So, aside of that, why doesn't he tell the main character tell her about the hysteria mode, which in canon of the anime is a a passed down by generations disease that I think it may or may not raise blood pressure, but whatever. When that guy gets turned on or he sees a woman's chest or something, he turns into a killer. Like, that's literally the main plot point. Whenever that guy sees a woman's chest or her panties, he turns into a perfect killer. And probably the weirdest thing about it is that he doesn't really like that fact. He kind of just fucks it off as, why the fuck do I have to deal with this? And that's what kind of hooked me on the show at first, but then it kind of went down into piece of crap street. For instance, this is really turning into a Hideo no Aria rant, but that's not really what it's supposed to be, but it is now, so let's go, I guess. The other main plot point in the anime is that the main character's brother was saved lives of many and then got ridiculed as incompetent because he couldn't save his own life but saved everybody else's. And after it we got hints that his brother may or may not be alive, but that never turns out to anything. It just gets left there in the many list of unresolved plot points in one giant mess of lies, deceit, and other crazy pieces of shit. Another one of those is the special episode, or episode 13, where the entire group goes to a bathhouse. And of course there's the one guy who just goes glowering at the girls and then gets his ass kicked because the person who owns the hot springs is a motherfucking ninja. And of course, you know, you don't fuck with ninjas. But that eventually turns into some kind of horror flick, and they don't give any bloody what the fuck moment. They give a lot of what the fuck moments, but they don't resolve any of the what the fuck moments. For instance, the entire episode revolves around the fact that some characters turned into statues, and the teacher and the person who owns the offsprings get tied up like it's some kind of weird hentai shit, but that's for another time. So basically, they don't explain why the ghost is there, because it all happens by a ghost, because they couldn't explain it otherwise. They don't explain why the ghost is there. They don't explain why how the ghost got there. They don't even explain why the ghost is a little kid. Why is the ghost a little kid? And why does he go around freezing people in place by casting some kind of spell on them, which just makes their head go blank? Like, in the beginning of the short, they thought it's probably the teachers because it's a training camp. Then the teachers get frozen, and then they just don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm guessing this was a Halloween episode, but aside of that, I don't really know. Before I start shitting more on that anime, because aside from all the points I mentioned, it was pure comedic gold, because that guy, the main character at least, he keeps getting made out by Arya to be a pervert, even though he really doesn't want, even though he really isn't, and even though that's kind of generic. The point of the matter is that if he was a pervert, he would be the ultimate assassin. But again, that is not really any point of it. Another one is in the final episode, where they face off against Vladimir Zevert Tepesh, or in other words, Dracula. And I don't know why, but Dracula apparently can cancel out his hysteria mode, which is how he, if I haven't mentioned it already, turns into the great killer. They don't explain why or how this happens. I think, at least. Maybe I've missed it. But aside of that, I don't know why it happens, and I don't know how it happens. And of course after that we've got a mysterious character. Watch season 2, please. And I read the description of season 2. I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably have to do that sometime. But as far as I know, season 2 is about a girl who wants to be like Arya, but fails horribly. And now Arya is kind of giving her pointers. This is how to be me. In other words, this is how to be an ingrate. Basically, she's an ungrateful ass. To be honest, that's the one thing I kind of see in the character. And everybody in this bloody anime has something for the main character, because of course it's is it a battle harem? I didn't see the harem tag on it, but maybe you can write it off as such. But aside of that, I don't really get how it works. I mean, there are other animes, but that's for another bullshit point. But I may as well go into some of them now. In the anime, I think it's called Freezing, the plot point is basically pretty goddamn fucked up, I guess. You should watch the anime just to get a idea. And then Infinite Stratos is another one that I've watched, and I enjoyed it, except that I don't know why the fuck the British girl was after him. I can get the Chinese girl, I can get the French one, I can get the childhood friend who was obsessed with kendo, and her older sister is a fucking mad scientist in a bunny suit. That's basically the best description I can give of her. I mean, her sister is the person who made the Infinite Stratos, or the IS units, and she's the only one who can make the course, which means that she basically determines how many ISs there are. So there are a couple of unregistered IS in the series, and that's a conflict that I don't really know if that's solved or not, because again, of that series I also haven't watched the second season, so I should probably get on that. But you know, the plot points in Infinite Stratos I can be forgiven because there's a second season. I don't know if Double A's focuses on any of that, because Double A's just seems to me in the description like a spin-off series, like the description said nothing about the main characters whose name I have completely forgotten and therefore shall now look up in order to feel like a complete idiot in front of what is basically nobody watching this, because, you know, I should really get a higher opinion of myself. I should. And I don't. And I don't know why I have so much low of an opinion of myself, but I do, and there's nothing you can do to change it. And I should probably get that fixed, or take antidepressant pills, or get looked into that. His name's Kenji. My god, I feel like an idiot. So, yeah, like, He Done Arya AA, that's the second season of it. I haven't watched it yet. I kind of just got finished watching the first season. And one of the characters is never really fleshed out. She's introduced as one of Arya's friends. She's the sniper with a wolf. But there's nothing really comes out of it. She's introduced, nothing happens. And I realized I just turned it into a He Don't Know Arya rant. And I didn't mean to. And now my internet is crashing. So I guess that means I should finish this off maybe. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, this aired last year, December of 2015. And I don't think this goes further than in the main plot points, but I don't know, so I'll have to look into this. But that's it for me today, I guess. Maybe if you have something you want to talk to me about, and then not get dragged into a rant about a specific anime I've watched literally like 5 minutes before. I finished watching He Done Arya like 5 minutes before, but yeah, don't know what I should think of this. And by the way, the actual English title was Arya the Scarlet Ammo. So that's it for me today. I was the Enigma. If you've got anything you want me to talk about in particular regarding
anime or games, or a game you want me to play, because at the end of the day this is supposed to be a gameplay channel, but I just bitch about whatever the fuck I want. So this is basically an everything the guy who creates wants to be. So if you want me to talk about a specific thing in anime, or specific thing in gaming, or play a specific game that I have the ability to record, then go ahead, request away, because I have no ideas. Like, I have enough ideas of shit to talk about or rant about, but aside of that, I don't really know what a game to play. So maybe I'll make a rant about all the dairy types, or maybe I'll make a rant about other specific anime, and that will then just turn into a specific anime rant. But now I'll just probably call this anime rant, and then a subject, and then in between brackets, this somehow turned into a specific rant about Hina no Aria, which I should really start watching double A. I've got it open on my desk, I should go and watch it. See you guys, probably in hell, because that's where I'm going. Don't know about you, but later, I guess.